So David Jansen solves the case. He's going to have to do a tremendous amount of explaining to Sam Wanamaker. I think, right? I mean,
yes.
Who still thinks that he's the bad guy. I don't know that he has all the evidence that he needs, but I'm sure that Jansen will talk his way out of it.
Yes, and did you appreciate how Sam Wanamaker uses this like generic slur when he says about the hunky?
Yeah,
they called my father a hunky, and it's like, what is that?
Right,
I'm not exactly sure.
Because he said like he was an immigrant also, right?
Yeah,
right. So I guess it was. Yeah, I don't know. Right, but
I'm glad we don't know, but I assumed it was like some all-purpose slur that anybody can imagine whatever they want with that one.
Yeah, in that man on the street segment that the local TV station runs, and we get all these citizens of L.A. We get the African American guy, and he says, imagine if this were me, if I'd fired this shot into it, I wouldn't even be getting this trial, right? Again, this is 55 years ago now, and so that there are so many elements of this which feel modern for 1967 and certainly relevant today. We're talking about, how well these movies age, which is not always a fair assessment for something. They're not made to age. They're made for right then.
Right, exactly.
Age, it's nice,
exactly.
Right? And it's certainly worth noting. This ages quite well. And maybe because it seemed like a TV show and television is so good now.
Yeah, it works, and it's not easy to pull this off. I was impressed because, Whit Masterson, or those two guys, Muller and Wade,
they wrote the novel.
They wrote the novel on which it's based, but it's very tricky to hide the culprit effectively in a story like this, especially when you've seen dozens and dozens of them. But I thought they did a pretty good job in this one. Like, you really don't think it's going to be George Grizzard.
No, I didn't think it at all. I kept thinking, well, this guy's great. He's really helping him. Like, and when he says, I don't know, I'll think about it. I'm like, oh, he's going to help. He's into this. Right.
Yes, exactly. And they use that red herring of taking the plane down to Mexico as like it never happens.
Right.
They never get to it, which is really, really smart writing.
Yeah, even at the moment when Jansen is suggesting, when Jansen's talking to Grizzard, and he's like, yeah, but that person wasn't there that night, and I'm thinking, oh, Grizzard wasn't there. Right,
exactly.
I'm putting it together with him, and Grizzard is playing it, so there's no moment in the direction where there's no shot where he betrays it. Like, you still don't know.
He never does the side eye, like, the guy's onto me,
Yeah, right. I'm thinking, like, he's got it wrong. No, she's just helping you, man. He's the cool pilot.
And you got to appreciate a movie that ends in a pet cemetery, where the revelation, they're digging up the dog, right? And then the whole thing with the switching of the guns and all that was pretty darn good.
Yeah, David Jansen, interesting actor, really good actor. Always compelling. That's one reason why The Fugitive worked. It was an interesting story, but they got the right guy to do this. And there's this is David Jansen laughing uproariously. Right?
That's it. He takes tight-lipped to the ultimate, extreme. And it's tricky, because if you're an actor and you decide, like, this is my thing and this is the way I'm going to play it, and you're so taciturn because of, David Jansen and that big emotional scene, he's like, hey, Ben, I don't know. He reminds me of Dana Andrews.
Yeah.
Dana Andrews is the only corollary I see in the classic era. He underplayed and internalized everything.
Yeah.
And it works for him.
And for whatever it's worth, every actor who I've come across in my coming up on 18 years at TCM who knew Jansen, who worked with Jansen, who died much too young, they all say, oh, he was just delightful, just a great guy to work with, and cared a lot about acting, and was decent to everybody. So it's always nice to hear.
Ben, I'm glad I could turn you on to this film.
Thank you. Yeah, this was a good one.
Yeah, we've got more in store. Ben and I will be back next Friday night with more of our Neo-Noir series. Right now, stick around for TCM Underground. We'll see you next week.